If you're anything like us, I bet you get so frustrated with all of the sugar that's in so much of the food that we eat. And what's more frustrating than that even is that once we started growing and raising our own food and preserving it, we found that even that gets a ton of sugar put in, especially with something like jam. Making jam is a very good way to preserve the fruit that we grow for eating in the winter, but we don't want to be consuming tons of sugar in the winter either. Shelly found another way to make jam that has totally revolutionized how she makes it, and it makes us feel so much better about eating it during the winter, and she's going to show you that in just a second. What you doing, babe?
Picking raspberries.
What you doing, babe?
Picking raspberries. What are you doing, Mom? Picking raspberries.
I know that most of our videos that we do are outside, doing a lot of outdoor stuff, but this seemed pretty important to us and we wanted to share it with you guys, so this one's going to be inside this time and I hope you enjoy it.
Often conventional recipes, they call for like a sugar fruit ratio of 1 to 1, so 1 cup of fruit to 1 cup of sugar. This takes only half that, and you can use less if you want. That's just what I choose to use. It also depends on like the tartness of the fruit that you're using. I love using a stick blender for stuff like this because if I would have to put all these in a blender, sometimes like you have to be pushing down the sides. If it's something that's not really juicy, a blender doesn't work that well. This thing works awesome for stuff like this. All right, these raspberries are pureed. I'm going to put them into a food mill here to get some of the seeds out. Here is the secret to the best jam ever. Low sugar, healthy. You don't have to cook your fruit down. It's fast. The other morning, I made a batch of jam in literally 20 minutes from beginning to end. This stuff has changed my life when it comes to jam.
Now you said low sugar, but you meant low sugar jam, but there's no sugar in that, right?
No, there's no sugar in this. I had been looking into different pectins a couple years ago already. I've been using this for a few years. I think Ball puts out a pectin for making low sugar jam. And I looked into it and like the first ingredient was dextrose, which is sugar. And it comes from corn, which is GMO. And so I was like, well, I need to find a different alternative. This has worked beautifully for me. The only ingredient in this, pure citrus pectin. The reason you don't have to use as much sugar with this is because you put a calcium powder in water and add that into your fruit. The pectin reacts with the calcium rather than the sugar. So you can honestly make jam without any sugar at all. I don't necessarily recommend that, but you can. So I still do use some sugar, but way less. For this, I use 2 cups of sugar for 4 cups of fruit for raspberries. Now, if you have like a sweeter fruit, you don't have to use that much sugar. You
like strawberries.
Yes, you can use honey, agave, stevia, whatever you want. I personally use evaporated cane juice sugar. This pectin is super, super easy to use. There is a package of pectin, and then there's a package of calcium. And you put half a teaspoon of calcium powder into half a cup of water, and you mix that together. You won't use all of this to make a batch of jam, so you can just put this right in your fridge, and it will last for like years. It won't go bad. So you just shake it up and use it the next time you're gonna make jam. And then this pectin, you're gonna mix this with your sugar. You measure out your sugar, then you measure out your pectin and stir it together. Otherwise, if you just put this straight into your fruit mixture, it'll clump. This is all the seeds that we got out of our berries. And it might seem wasteful, but seriously, like that is so many seeds.
Yeah, I really wouldn't want that on
You would not want that in your jam. The pectin comes with a recipe and it tells you exactly how to do everything. And I just go with the really simple recipe: 4 cups of mashed fruit to 2 cups of sugar, 2 teaspoons of pectin, 2 teaspoons of calcium water. Okay, so this is 4 batches of jam here, so I'm going to do 8 teaspoons of calcium water into my cold fruit. And then as soon as this comes to a boil, I'm gonna add my sugar and pectin. This is an 8-cup measuring cup here. And for 4 batches of jam, I need 8 cups of sugar.
That is a lot of sugar.
But imagine putting 2 of these into that pot. It's so gross, I cannot even think about it. I need 8 teaspoons of pectin. You want it to come to a full boil.
Hey, good looking. What you got cooking?
A lot of recipes, like conventional jam recipes, they will want you to boil your fruit for like 8 minutes. I'm not sure exactly why, but with this recipe, you just bring it to a full boil, add your sweetener, and then let it come up to boiling again, and then you take it off. You don't have to like boil it and boil it and boil it. That just kills off more nutrients, so this is great. So I'm gonna add my sugar.
That looks a little full.
Okay, you want to stir this for 1 minute or until the sugar is completely dissolved. I really like to test the jam just to make sure it is thick enough, gelled enough for my taste. So I put a plate into the freezer and I put a little bit of jam onto the plate and stick it back in the freezer for just a few minutes to see if it gels nicely. You can see it solidifies like right away. All right, I just pulled this out of the fridge. You can see it's nicely gelled. I'm very pleased with that. This is a canning funnel made specifically to go into the jars. It makes so that you don't get food on the rims. It just makes it a whole lot easier, especially with the regular mouth jars. If you are freezing your jam like I am, don't fill your glass jars all the way to the top or they will bust. I'm gonna leave these jars sit out for a little bit and let the jam cool down before I stick it straight in the freezer, just because I don't want it to make my freezer all steamy. Dare me to eat this whole
Eat it, eat it, eat it.
Now that you know how to make low sugar jam, you also need to learn how to make whipped cream.